the rules on when Bitcoin is taxable are very fluid at the moment. Okay. So technically, the IRS could come and say, and this this conversation is, is geared towards sellers. But if you have a buyer, I mean, if they are offering their Bitcoin to someone
It's
else,
yeah, to be clear,
yeah,
it's more you've said to this, you've said, hey, buyer, sell your Bitcoin and pay me cash. And I'm saying if the buyer says back to them, well, that's going to cost me more in taxes, what might you say to them? I understand there's a lot of stuff that you don't know about this buyer and whatnot, but they could just fire back, well, that's going to cost me a bunch of taxes because I bought it really low, I'm selling for this. So how might you just respond to that? That's
it's
that
going to
makes
cost me
sense.
the same.
Yes, it
Yeah,
costs you the same. Okay.
it's going to cost me the same amount of taxes.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you got to pay taxes. I got to pay taxes. We're all gonna pay taxes on this. So
Yeah.
you're asking me to pay taxes, and I think that's kind of the point I was getting at is they might say back to you, well, it's gonna cost me a bunch of taxes, and you gotta say, well, I'm gonna liquidate this Bitcoin. It's gonna cost me taxes, right? Or I gotta pay taxes if this goes down, and so understanding the negotiation of why you're saying that, what they might say to you, and then coming back and say, well, okay, you're asking me to pay cash to the IRS, not Bitcoin, on $1 million in Bitcoin in this analogy here. I got to liquidate it to
Yeah.
cover that.
What I was trying to get at is, either way, they're going to have to pay taxes on it. Whether they sell it and convert it to cash and then buy your business, or whether they use it as consideration, either way, they're going to have to pay taxes on it.
Okay, I don't want to get too deep into the stock sale versus the asset sale, the stock of the company, not stocks, but stock of equity sale or asset sale. Is that relevant when crypto comes into mind?
Now you're going to have to pay an hourly rate for this.
Wait, I've Venmoed you already. I got Cash App you now.
Now we're getting into the weeds. I don't know if I can give that advice for free.
Okay, maybe reach out to
No, I'm
Reba. There we
joking.
go.
I'm joking. I would no. That takes some analysis. But it's a very good question.
Well, it goes to the heart of some of these M&A deals where buyers want to buy a certain way. You touched on earlier, you might can sell your company for no taxes. We're not going to get into that today, how you would structure your company for that. And it's just, there's always questions about how to do this. And it goes back to risk tolerance and what you know. And the hardest thing about M&A from a seller's perspective is um, a lot of times I've been told by owners, bring me an offer from a buyer. I'm like, well, that's you don't want that. You don't, trust me, you don't want a buyer to bring you an offer because how do you know it's a good offer? Or it might be a good offer and you might be way overvaluing your company and reject it. And then by the time you go to market, you're not worth that anymore. And so you don't really know. And so if you're doing in this world, it's the same thing. Well, stock sale, asset sale, getting Bitcoin, cash, taxes, all this stuff. And I think I don't like hating on other people, so I'm not hating anyone. There's a lot of education right now for buyers on how to buy companies for no money down, little money down, 100% owner financing, and I can foresee a future where there's a lot of advice on how to buy with crypto, and owners won't know. Oh, wait, I got 2 million in crypto. I wasn't expecting a tax bill at all, and the IRS like, no, no, that full $2 million acquisition that you sold, it's all taxable at $2 million. Where's the cash? And they're like, well, I haven't cashed it out. It's worth half of what it was, and they just didn't know that was something that they should have considered, much less a stock sale versus an asset sale.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And something that you said earlier was so interesting is like, you don't want somebody to just bring you an offer. You want to dictate the terms of your deal from the beginning, because you know what's going to be a good offer and what's not. And there are so many ways to structure it.
Okay, I know we're up against the clock here. Do you have a few extra minutes? We were late getting started
Yes.
because of my fault. Okay, I didn't want to thank you for that. Um, I've seen some
What
companies
time
are.
go by so fast?
I know, right? I've seen some
Yeah.
companies that are paying employees with Bitcoin and stuff like that. Does that change any of these equations if you're already paying your employees in Bitcoin? And your company already transacts that way. Does that change any of this?
I mean, it's different because if you're paying your employees in Bitcoin, then that's income tax to them. Um, I would say no. I would
Okay.
say no. It does
And the
not.
reason I'm asking is because we've talked about this before. Me and Josh talk about this a lot. You will see, oh, somebody online, the Wyoming LLC is the big rage right now, and there's some tax. So you will see people, and I'm not saying I've seen this. I'm just making this up. If you pay your employees in Bitcoin, when you sell your company, the taxes are less because of so and so and so and so and so and so. And it's like, well, wait, hold on. Does that matter or not until owners start giving bonuses or paying in Bitcoin or funding IRA, their 401ks in Bitcoin. You can see potential for people selling packages where if they use crypto, that somehow when they sell their company, it's deferred taxes or less taxes. And so at the core, though, it doesn't sound like that's going to help you if you accept crypto when you sell by restructuring your company and how you pay your employees today.
No, because you're paying them in property. You're not paying them in cash because crypto
Okay.
is property.
Yeah.
But remember this. Great. Here's the exciting part is there's a huge demographic of young people, mostly young people, some older, let's just say there's a huge demographic of people who have made a lot of money in crypto. Okay. And they're looking to invest their money. And that's a huge pool of potential buyers for your company. Okay. So you're saying I will not accept 50% crypto for my company, but I'll accept 5%, you know, and I'm going to charge a premium for that, a premium price. You're opening yourself up to a huge new demographic. Okay.
Yeah.
There's yacht companies now who are accepting Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Why? Because otherwise they wouldn't have these customers.
Right.
So it's exciting, it's new, it's offering a whole new potential. It's not going away. It's here to stay. So make yourself knowledgeable about it. Say no from a place of knowledge, not from a place of I don't know and I don't want to take the risk.